Oh yeah, baby. It's And Just Like That, Season 3, Episode 2, The Rat Race. And we're here for our first reactions on Pod in the City. Hey! Hey!
Oh my God.
It's Pride Month too, baby.
It is June Joan.
June Joan, mother effers. You guys, okay. We watched it. I watched it this morning.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Hi, Frads. Julie, I feel you may soon be disappointed.
We had a little back and forth about your comment, but this should be fun actually, because I have no idea what other people think of this. Again, we have not spoken at all. I watched this last night while a bunch of stuff was happening, so I kept having to rewind and rewatch stuff because I kept missing stuff. And so I feel like I've watched this whole thing twice. And guys, I listened to the Writers' Room.
Why?
Because I knew what it was gonna be, and it's like I almost just needed that. I just needed the security of that, and it's kind of funny to hear them go and be like, "Wow, that line was brilliant," and them just congratulating each other for the entire podcast, and me being like, "You guys are so out of touch," and that makes so much sense on how you wrote this show,
guys. If you're here, hi. First of all, hi, Julie. Hi, Wicked Witch of the West. Hi, AP. Hi, Florida Stanley. Hi, Gabrielle. And hi, Danielle. Hi, Sarah. Baby. Hey,
and
Heather. Tell me, let us know right in the comments right now. Did you watch the episode yet, or have you not watched it yet? Or are you not going to watch it? Sarah, the Wicked, we will. Okay, we'll tack a bit of Wicked trailer talk at somewhere.
Sure. They were supposed to drop the other day at like a certain time, and then we got excited and we were gonna like do a live reaction, and then they pushed it back like 2 more hours, and we were both over it. Hey, man, hey, Andy.
Unfortunately, I was kind of, by the time I actually saw the trailer, I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I wanted to be like,
I mean, I was a little bit.
Trust me, when I see the movie and she does no good deed, I'm going to be
my least favorite song in the show. That and I'm Not That Girl and the duet. I hate the male-female duet. I don't like songs in minor keys, okay? But let's talk about
And Those are like 3. Oh my God, I love I'm Not That Girl.
I like that kind of
Hey, Jordan. Hey, Katie.
Okay. Now here, so
Rhode Island,
very much it's in my head, but now I'm pretty stoned. And it's been like,
hey, Brianna.
12 hours we watched it. So John just watched it, so that's maybe a little more. What?
I just said subscribe.
Oh, subscribe, like
and subscribe.
Yes. Yes. Do you have the idea? Do you have everything more like close?
I just watched it.
Go right out.
So guys, if you're just tuning in for the first time, maybe so far all of our comments are all of our reggies, which thank you, babes. But if you're tuning in for the first time, what we're doing over here is we're doing like a live first reaction to Jody. Hey, girl, did you watch the episode?
No, Jody says she only listens to our recaps. So you guys can do that too.
Oh, great. Okay, so what we're doing over here, every Friday we're doing a live stream to do like our first reaction. So this is not covering like the entire episode. It's just our first thoughts out the gate. Then on Tuesday, we drop the full recap for the episode. So make sure that you also watch on Tuesday, because we're going to miss things and forget things. If there's things, though, that you want us to chat about, write them in the comments as we're going. Write some things like if you're like, oh, you know, Seema and this or whatever.
Let us know if you want us to mention anything in particular, because again, the episode kind of went in one ear, out the other. But also really quickly, check out our Patreon that we do Vanderpump Rules over there. We do Smash, we do Girls, and then we do a pillow talk every 4th week where we just talk about sex. And this week we're doing another episode of Smash, and both of those drop on Monday. And you got early ad-free episodes.
Smash. Last night I spiraled out thinking it was Girls, and I was like, oh God, I have to recap about
No, don't worry. Next week, though.
In Pride Month, too.
In Pride Month. It's not a very gay episode either, but...
No, it's not at all. I read the synopsis and was...
Can we just give a general... You texted me, and it was pretty much my exact thoughts and my exact moment in the episode where I was like, oh. And you're like, I'm 2 scenes in, and what did you say? Like, my jaw's on the floor. You're like,
no, here were my exact words. OMG, the first 2 scenes of And Just Like That are making me want to cancel the entire podcast. Because y'all, I don't know. I was riding a semi-high last week. Like, I kind of was like, ooh, okay, Rosie.
Yeah.
And then this week,
it's like someone came in and just slashed our heels as we were standing
the first scene. Okay, Sarah said she thought that Kristen Davis's acting was really bad this week. Would agree. In fact, I thought everyone's acting, except maybe Miranda's acting for part of it, were bad. I thought Carrie was pretty bad. I thought Seema was okay.
Oh, really? Okay, I was gonna say Seema was my saving grace because I watched it like 3 times where she was doing that monologue in the bar, like the revolving door.
Oh, with the men. Yes.
She was reading down. I loved that.
I will say my number 1 star moment of the episode where I actually was like, okay. When Seema and Sherry O'Terry were together. Sorry, Sherry O'Terry actually was like understated-ish acting, but also funny, but
she was great. It was nice to see her again. Why is she not in more things? I feel like she must have gotten canceled somehow in the inner workings of Hollywood. Because it doesn't make sense that she's not more famous.
I think people maybe thought she was more she was too over the toppy with her stuff and wasn't
just as over the top Molly Shannon was. And Molly Shannon's
but not to be mean. I also think that maybe people found Molly Shannon to be more like conventionally attractive than Sherry O'Terry, which I think Sherry O'Terry is gorgeous, but some people might put her in like.
Well, according to Jody, Sherry O'Terry is allegedly a cold bitch at SNL. I'm sure that's based on one thing Jody heard, and now that will be gospel for me for the rest of my life. So thank you.
I love Sherry O'Terry. I thought she was great on this episode. Now, quick question though, guys. Is this all that Kristen Shaw is doing?
I think
she didn't have a single joke in the whole thing. It was
we're gonna give you a straight man.
You could have cast any person in her role. That's where I was like, wait, is she gonna do anything funny? Is something funny gonna happen?
No, it was so weird. But speaking of Kristen Shaw, she was so great on this last episode of Bold and the Beautiful with Trixie and Katya. She is so funny. So I think she's probably there maybe promoting this. So I assumed that it was gonna be, I mean, she kind of did carry her scenes, I guess. And same with Sherry O'Terry.
She was nothing on this, but I do think she is hilarious. I've heard her on Trixie and Katya before. There's an episode. There's an episode of just her and Katya together, and it is so.
This one's even funnier because it's all 3 of them.
That's what I was like. What? So you've decided you're going to cast her as the like straight-laced college admissions counselor guru person. Also, hey guys, you know what I don't. You know what I don't need in anything having to do with Sex in the City? A storyline about getting your children into an Ivy League school and paying the most elite person to help
Lori
you.
Loughlin should have guessed it on this episode.
Yeah, but they didn't even go that route. It literally was just, we need to track down this woman so we can pay her a ton of money so that our children look perfect. And then they they go to the end with the kids, and the kids are spiraling out being like, I can't even mention that I'm adopted. This is the most, there have been out of touch things on, thank you, Mandisha. There have been out of touch shit on this show. And this is like, I mean, them singing in the Dubai karaoke, I Am Woman, that to me is
more Liza being
relatable than this.
Kristen Shaw being cast as the straight man in this is like casting Mandy Patinkin in Yentl, which is a full musical, and he doesn't sing one note in it. But that would be my best comparison.
I will say, I agree. Sherry O'Terry did get an eye lift of some sort that when she looks down, it is very apparent. But if she's looking up,
settled. It's kind of settled. But let's go through the storylines, though. Okay, so
number one most important.
You said you loved was Lizette. You said
I was gonna say my number one most important storyline is what's Lizette been up to. Guys, guess what? Now that Lizette actually has had a scene, we've come to find out that she's a terrible actress as well. She's like,
oh, did we ever
Carrie,
think she was great?
no. And she also, every time they show this woman, they put her in some form of like baggy shorts and like a crop top that's like laced up. That she's literally wearing baggy
She's got like
shorts.
the world's longest torso, and we are seeing all of it. We're gonna make sure we're seeing the whole thing.
That's all they ever put her in.
Yeah.
Hi, Rebecca.
So the point of that scene was to what? Well, actually, they do say it on the writer's room. This is Michael Patrick King giving him a real pat in the back. He's like, see, what we do is we need to give the audience exposition. So we as writers have to weave it in so that the audience doesn't know you're getting exposition. I was like, you think we're not catching on?
What exposition are we getting?
That Carrie's like, oh, this is my new house, my brownstone. And then I miss my old house was the other thing. That
really? We couldn't tell that from her bumbling around in it last week with the door constantly opening. No.
She was giving history on the new house. And this is what's so great about it is Sarah Jessica, she also loves history. So it was perfect. We gave that to Carrie. That's what this whole podcast is. It's an hour of them talking about how much they nailed.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It sounds like the biggest piece of trash
on this podcast. Oh, I have a clip to play at the end, so you're gonna care about it. The part where, like, with the bread, where he brick and mortar, and Anthony says dick and mortar. Whoever wrote it in the room, they laugh about it for like that was just the oh god when you said that in the room. Wow, like, are you all our age?
Dick and mortar? No, they're not. MPK is not our age.
But he's still 60. Like our. Oh, okay. But it's our humor. He like informed our humor.
The problem is all of these people, as we remember about the ancient idea of Neapolitan ice cream, these people are so far up their own asses at this point, unfortunately. At least like it. You know, Sex and the City had that time in the beginning to build its footing of like, oh, they're not like stars, they're this, that. And now it's just like, I mean, okay. There's a lot going on in the chat. Lisette is terrible. Nobody does care about this bitch. I agree. Get rid of her. And she also made Carrie a necklace that was also, I believe it seemed later like it was a lanyard or something. Because Carrie had a key on it.
No, but then later she was wearing it and it didn't have the key on it. So
it was butt ugly, I'll say. It was a very thick chain.
Oh, Lisette is a jewelry designer, so obviously this is great and I should wear this around.
No, my first issue that started this was, I realized the beginning was pretty bad. But they're in the scene. Lisette hands Carrie a box. Now, Carrie, and we all know, wonderful vocabulary, wonderful work there. We know that she is a jewelry designer. She had a full episode around her jewelry being stolen in a park, okay? And then Carrie opens the box box with the necklace. And she's like, oh my God, 245. That's my old address. And then Lisette's like, uh-huh. And she's like, you made this. Carrie acts like, oh, she's just realizing. Now she flips the box to show the necklace. Guys, I'm turning red because this, just from a making sense point here, her reaction is that she's just coming to the sense that Lisette made this, even though she knows she's a jewelry designer, and the box said Lisette across it. Like it was embossed with her fucking name.
I also think Carrie hated it. She's like, oh, this is like when your kid gives you a school project and you're like, do I have to put this like on how long does this need to sit on the fridge for? Mandy just said, Darren Star or MPK or whoever is having a crisis hired a bunch of young writers who don't know how to do shit. And so they could feel younger. And this is the result. Yeah, I feel like that's how Ryan Murphy is too. You ever see how Ryan Murphy walks around dressed?
I will say though, I feel like a Ryan Murphy, I'd almost, about not even halfway through this, because I remember looking at the time of how long I'd gone in, And I was like, this has got to be over already, right? This has got to be over.
I did the same thing, and I was like, there's still like 24 minutes left of this thing.
I think we looked at it at the same time, and I outright said to myself, if I didn't have to do the live, I think I would stop this.
Stop.
Right
now. Let's finish Carrie's storyline, because Carrie, it was like this was all Carrie this week. So she is sitting outside in her bougie backyard. There are a bunch of rats, and so they clear the whole thing out. Oh, by the way, MPK said that the reason they have somebody hit on Carrie at the bar is to show that she still has options out there. I was like, what? Okay, no shit. What is
we
it?
Didn't know that?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
The first moment of the episode is Carrie in a skin-tight dress.
Oh, she looks great, bro.
Man on earth.
Yeah, obviously there's options out there. But they clear the rats. Then, oh my God, there's this line reading that Aiden did later that, like, I hope you caught it, because I think that the actor John Corbett was wasted when he said it. But so she is typing out this, and you could tell when Carrie's doing this bit where she's like doing the voice to text. Could you not just see the writers really congratulating each other for this hilarious bit? We're gonna have Carrie leave these voice to text. That she's walking around going, hi, Aiden, period. So all these rats are here, comma, like that. You could tell that they thought that was going to be such a funny recurring bit. Guess what? They did. They talked about it on the I just think they thought.
She's giving that episode where in Real Housewives of New York where Luann is like texting and she's like something, I can't remember what she says, but she says something and then she says period, and she's like doing voice to text, and it's, guys, someone in the comments knows it was horrible. I hated it in this episode. I hated this episode. I'm sorry, Julie. I know Julie and AP said this episode was better than the first one. I'm sorry.
I mean, I give it another watch, but so Aiden comes back. He shows up because he feels so. He goes, "Oh, what's his face? What's his kid's name? His dick. Wyatt. He's like at his mom's house. So I decided to fly in for New York. So I'm like, so you could have just been doing this. This is what you could just be doing. This is called dating long distance. You could have just done this, right? So they then the next morning, this is where this weird drunken line John Corbett says, and it's also a weird conversation because you would never have this conversation. But Shoo, the cat, tries to get out, and Carrie's like, oh, make sure that you don't shut the door make sure that you shut the door because Shoo keeps trying to get out. First of all, we could tell it was like a smack in the face with how much that's going to come back at the end of the episode. But then Aiden has this weird line where he goes, why does she keep trying to get out? And it was the weirdest, drunkest line. And it's also like, it's a cat. Like, what a weird, it was just like the most unnatural conversation. Again, these people are.
Okay, though. I can't remember. We did get a comment. It might be someone here right now who commented that on maybe it was the writer's room thing. They were talking about how the alarm going off about the door being open is to indicate that, you know, the house is supposed to be Carrie in some kind of way. So like the idea that the door is open for more, but Carrie keeps trying to close it and acting like it's closed, but it really isn't. It's like this whole thing, right?
Well, and then the alarm going off. I was like, that's a great point too, that Carrie's seeing all these alarm bells at the show. But it's like, I think maybe the show isn't directed well is the problem, because the concepts are good.
I just don't think we need that. Do you need to do all this? Like, guys, in this episode, she starts writing her novel,
but in the 18th century, because she doesn't want to connect with this woman, because this isn't me. This is a fake woman from the 1800s. I heard that on the radio.
I can't even imagine that. Okay, so I did think something was going to happen to Shoo. I hate when an animal gets out.
I know.
He was drunk when he acted that out.
Yeah, see, it's a weird. It was seriously. You're gonna have to watch it again because we're recording about this in a couple of days. But make sure that you listen to that, because I think that John Corbett, was like, I need to get hammered to shoot this stuff, these lines.
Oh.
I need to say this. Somebody corrected us, and it was so spot on that I got incredulous about the fact that Carrie puts her cat out for the night that night, but she made a good point that Shu was in the room the night before when Carrie was masturbating, and it made her uncomfortable. And she put him out right before she called Aiden to initiate phone sex. So she was putting the cat out, which is actually that's funny. It wasn't.
They also did that in this episode when they're about to get it on. They put Shu out again, and I thought Amanda's not going to be happy. Amanda's not going to be happy.
Carrie with a cat is just, it's like watching Robin Brown with a cat. It's like, you don't seem to enjoy this. Like, it seems like this cat is just like a minor prop in your life.
It definitely is just an accessory. It's like a thing where she walks by and like, you know, really fabulously like pours some food into its bowl and then like leans on the counter while it eats 3 giblets and then she walks away.
Yeah. Okay, so what was Miranda's storyline was this, and it was a throwback to Jules and Mimi. Michael Patrick King said that. About how she got obsessed with that. So now she's getting obsessed with this show.
No. Yeah, I refuse. No, Michael Patrick King, stop. Stop right now.
I like that he still knows the references to the show, unlike all 4 women.
Yeah, but you're saying okay. So Miranda becoming obsessed with the show is automatically a callback to her becoming obsessed with the show previously.
But then she likes those magazines. She goes, "It's my thing." So that is the thing.
Tell me, was Carrie falling on her ass and calling Miranda for help a callback then to Miranda falling on her ass, calling Carrie?
It literally was.
I hate. Oh my god.
So that's the whole storyline there. And then she flirts with this guacamole girl, which I'm like, this girl fucking hates you that every time you come into the restaurant, you're ordering tableside guac that now she has to stand and banter with you at. Wouldn't you like request to not serve that table?
Oh, hey, Amanda, actually, let me know. Did you order medium hot? You ordered medium hot, right?
Did you bring that prop for this?
You ordered medium hot, right, ladies? Tell me about your tableside guac. Now, with your tableside guac, I'm obsessed with that show too, ladies. That Bye show. Hey, Amanda, you and I should go on that Bye show, don't you think?
Totally.
I'm straight.
Okay.
ASMR. that was
ASMR. Yeah, you guys should check out our old ASMR because they're not really ASMR. Like, don't expect to be comforted in any way. You'll be high anxiety the whole time.
Okay, wait, who was it? It was someone commented that they commented on one of our old videos that there was a moment in it where I showed a tomato. I was trying to re-listen to that, and we do ASMR at the end, and I was blown away with how far we've come.
Honey, we're ready for this to be okay. Wait, name some other plot lines here.
Okay, Miranda did have a funny moment where this like lady comes, the lady who she's really into at the whatever, that lady comes in and she's like, how did a lowly intern have her own office? And Miranda's like, oh my god, I can't, Miranda's back to her kookiness. The lady sits down and is like, tell me what's going on. And Miranda's like, well, this thing and the other in the job. And the lady's like, no, tell me about your life. And Miranda's like, well, I de-virginized a nun. And I did kind of go, at that. And,
that's good. I also laughed out loud when it had Miranda on her break watching C-SPAN, and it had like the audio from the show she was it showed C-SPAN. Like that was a good. I wanted to point out, as someone said here, Wicked Witch of the West, the guac mocolette girl was the best acting in the episode. I wanted to give props to every single side character because every single one has been great.
I think they're talking about the bowl, the actual thing. Like a molcajete is the thing you like mix the guacamole in.
Okay, well that aside, do you not agree that a lot of the people that just have one line are also are nailing it a little bit?
You know what shook me? Remember back to episode 1, the guy who did the
yeah. There were a couple.
He had like he had a handlebar mustache, right? Or am I recollecting wrong? Because there was a man in this episode from the Exterminators who had a handlebar mustache and almost looked like that guy. And I was like, is that, are they, what's going on there? I do agree. The side characters were good. The straight woman with children who said that she should go on By Island. Now that didn't make any effing sense. You know, if you wanted to continue flirting with Miranda at the table, fine. But you said we should go on this show.
Yeah.
And then you're going to later say you're straight.
You gotta do that when you're a waitress sometimes, John. Did you like the joke where this was maybe the most out of touch joke, where the joke was literally like Anthony is opening his dick and mortar shop, and they have the construction workers in, and they just body shame all of the men working construction as a joke for us, the audience.
The joke in that is that, oh, honey, you know, the porn fantasy of a construction worker isn't true. None of them are hot. Have you ever driven by a construction site, Anthony?
They are
I'm
hot
not sure
for
what
one.
you're talking about.
What are these poor guys catching strays here? They're building your stupid fucking
There's
restaurant.
at least 1 to 2 hot dudes on a construction site. Are you
they genuinely think they are? Most guys
now,
that work have good bodies.
My most egregious was I did like the principal. I did like that principal guy because he's been on
everything.
things.
He was just in Somebody Somewhere.
Now, this was the second scene of the episode that really started me down because the first joke, the initial joke of this scene is a school shooting joke.
Oh, I kind of like that. I was just going to say I really like the school shooting joke.
Are you insane?
No,
yes, I'm going to just answer.
Like, oh,
that's a rhetorical question. What? The joke, guys, in case you didn't watch, is the 2 women running in and being like, principal, or whatever. And he's like, oh my God. He gets up and he puts on a bulletproof vest.
I knew this day would come. It's like, all right. Jesus Christ. I mean, true to life. However, I don't feel like, and that was put in the zany LTW Charlotte storyline, which I guess is what they're going to do this season, is just that. They're zany. Plus a school shooting. You can't
make a storyline about college admissions zany unless you're just lying about, unless you are pulling Lori Loughlin. I'm fine that people probably maybe liked it, but maybe just because I did used to be a teacher, I just don't find that, idea funny, personally.
Well,
personally.
Would you laugh at a 9/11 joke?
No, I probably wouldn't.
You know, I think that's the thing that people most.
But I'm not offended by people laughing at that.
Okay, well, thanks. Okay, what else? Should we get into Seema? That was the only storyline I liked here.
Seema, right? I liked Seema's storyline a lot, and I thought her with Sherry O'Terry was great. Unfortunately, it seems like with some of these people, they give them a season-long storyline, and then they give Seema like a 1-episode arc to start and finish her whole dating thing.
By the way, they did explain, they also explained on the Writers Room podcast about why they don't mention Che and stuff, and they really kind of brushed it off. Like, just she's moved on. Every character, they're trying to retcon it so that they knew that Che was only going to be there a little bit. They're like, every character comes in to help our girls move ahead. So sometimes, and like, that's nothing against the actors or the actor, because they're talking about Ravi, and we knew Ravi wasn't going to stick around longer. I'm like, that's such bullshit. You ended the last season cliffhanger on him. So, Nandisha says you need to get.
Here is what happened. Let me do a slight reroute here. About 5 minutes before, or like I'm putting on
not a work call.
No. I buried this lead. About 10 minutes. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to get clothes on. I just finally get my clothes on. I'm looking out my window. Okay. Follow some of our other things because, I've had issues with people parking cars in front of my house. Whatever. This was not a parked car situation. I'm looking out my window. Okay. and I see a person. I do live by like a freeway. I do live by a very big road in a city. So there are often people who walk down my street to go through, is what I'm going to say. They don't live here. They're just passing through this area. Okay. I look out the window. I see a woman. And she's carrying this like big metal like ball thing, which I have a big metal ball thing in my front yard.
Oh, okay.
Like in my like plant air, like with my plants. Yeah. And I was like, it took me a second to think like, is that mine? I'm like, why is that woman? Why would that woman be carrying that? Like, is she like, what's going on here? So I'm there looking out the window, and then full Karen mode came on. I'm like, okay, I go outside. I just go outside, walk to the end of my driveway, and I'm like, hey, bring that back. And then she turns around and is like, oh, it was in the street. It was in the street.
Oh, I thought he was actually stealing it?
Yes.
That is not where I thought that story was going.
So I am a little
I thought you were just being a dick.
No, she genuinely took it, claiming that it was in the street. Now, I guess a gust of wind. Now, mind you, it has been in the same spot for 12 years, I think, and has not moved. So I'm not sure how it was any. So that's where I'm at.
She was stealing your gazing ball.
Plus, I was really upset. I just wanted this episode. Unfortunately, after the high of last week, I genuinely was thinking this might be
too. This is how the whole series has been. Mary says the question was Dennis Quaid the principal, or am I hallucinating? He does look like Dennis Quaid. It is not Dennis Quaid. He's like he's in everything. He was in like Will and Grace. He played like one of the other gay couple friends. He's one of those guys. And he's in Somebody Somewhere. He's in everything. He is gay. He is. And I think he does like Christopher Guest movies. I feel like he hangs out with that crowd. Okay, Seema, I wanted to say, I could have sat there and watched a 30-minute episode of just her sitting at the corner of that bar reading different men. Because I feel like the writers could have had, I think if me and like you and Jody got together and just like came up with a list of all the men we hate, we could make a half hour easy. Like all the Tinder types.
Why don't we stretch that storyline out? Maybe, I don't know, 3 episodes or something, instead of like wrapping that whole thing up at the end and her just being like, I'm gonna be me and it doesn't matter. And it's like,
but you've always been you. Like that's never really been faltering.
That's what I was gonna say.
So now
you wore pastels and pearls for one.
Yeah, what was that realization there? And the guy does leave after that? That doesn't make sense either. I can't imagine any man not being like, I want to marry you.
Guys, if you're just tuning in and you're brand new, hit subscribe, hit like. Also, try and hit share, copy, link. You don't even have to actually share it. Just push share, copy, link. Because this might just sound like a flow of consciousness or stream of consciousness.
Yeah. And it sounds like we hate this show. And we do hate and just like that kind of. We want it to be good. But if you want to hear us actually really talk about something that we have full reverence for, we covered all of the first 3 seasons of Sex and the City so far. And we love that show.
Well, what I was going to say is I don't care if people think that we hate it. Personally, I don't care about that. What I care is that I want you to realize that we also put out like a full episode each week, fully recapping it. Like last week, we did a full recap, start to finish. So while this seems just like we're jumping out, now we do jump all over the place in the other one, but we're jumping all over the place here. That one's a little more like, here's what happens at the beginning, then this, then this, then this. Then
yeah, we'll do a news and gossip at the top.
Shu is so cute. I love Shu. Obsession. I also what
do you think's gonna happen with that guy at the end? The hot guy wearing like that guy. I don't like that guy. I'm like who are you? Oh, I was gonna say like, who do you think you're fucking talking to with an attitude like that? But Carrie kind of means it because she is such a bitch. Everyone she's like, you're gonna get it done, right? There was a guy with a handlebar mustache and that guy was like her main like crew had a handlebar mustache, and she was being such a bitch to him the entire episode.
She was just I think she needs to get with this guy. I want her to get with this guy.
Yes,
except
please.
they have
Oh, by the way, she says to Aiden, "What are we doing here?" Because this is her way to address to the audience. I don't like this either. And Aiden says, "Oh yeah, no, maybe I freaked out a little bit. Now listen, I know I need to be laser focused on that situation at home with Wyatt, with my asshole kid Wyatt, and but you can still text me." Also, like, is it the best for Wyatt that you are all over it? Like, you're sleeping in bed with him every time he like has a mild anxiety attack. This is bigger than you or much smaller than you, but whatever this is insane.
I just don't want her to be with Aiden anymore. I'm over it.
Yeah,
but
I think they think that we want them to be together.
I know.
And now they've ruined another really beautiful love story that we watched on the show. They are just except this is actually what a lot of couples do is you get back together with the people that you really thought that you loved, and then you're together and you're like, you're together until you beat it into the ground.
Now, was their love story ever that beautiful?
I thought it was like there was love between them. Mary says, put Wyatt in an institution and be done with it. See, these are my people here. Yes, kid. Yeah,
I just am done with it, but they did preview like in the, I don't know, some preview of some sort.
Yeah.
Carrie is like on a date of some kind with a very, very hot man.
Right, so maybe they're opening it up a bit, opening up that relationship. She wants to get that.
I hope they just end it. We don't need it. We don't need it.
Yeah, they broke up twice for a reason.
Actually, though, if I'm being honest, do we need Anne just like that?
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, guys. I mean, well, we haven't. Wait, hang on. I want to play this clip that I took. Are you ready? It's only 39 seconds. All right, this is.
Guys, my jaw dropped to the demonetized.
The show she's hate watching, which I wanted to really do something about hate watching because I think it's a infection. People are watching stuff, but they don't want to say they're watching it, so they say they're hate watching it.
There's no such thing as hate watching. If you are tuning in, then you are a fan.
You're watching.
Yeah.
What
wow.
do you need
it
to
just means you're having an excited negative reaction to something.
Yeah, but
you love it.
It's like the phrase guilty pleasure.
Yeah, right.
What?
It's permission.
Totally.
It's like I don't actually like that show.
Right.
To be clear.
Right. Miranda.
That's why I carve out 9 hours of my life to sit and look at it.
Yeah, to watch every episode and have a deep feeling about hate watching. So.
Okay, you know what? I know that hate watching does exist because that is literally how I listen to that podcast. There's nothing where I'm like guilty pleasure podcast. No, I turn this on and I'm like, I'm ready to hate. And I have a couple hate listen podcasts, several.
Now,
TV show Smash was kind of a hate watch, except I did love Smash. But they are just, and you see how they're all just like sucking each other's dicks over there. Like there's no one in the room that is grounding the situation. They need someone like, you're wrong.
Rewind. I don't believe that you would be listening to that if we did not do this.
You don't believe? Oh, I probably would listen to it.
Oh yeah, you listen to Sheena. You listen to Sheena and Lala's podcast.
I don't anymore, but I did listen to Raquel Levis.
Oh yeah, you listen to Raquel's podcast. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Amanda would listen to anything, so don't take her word for it, y'all.
I listen to music. I listen to podcasts.
I got to be honest, and just like that, I, as an avid and loyal Sex and the City fan to the end, I had skipped And Just Like That for years. Well, like 1 year because, it had only come out.
A year was on.
Until we had to recap it. And I can tell you right damn now, if we weren't doing it here with y'all, are my favorite people ever. You guys are so amazing and sweet for being here. I probably wouldn't be watching it now either. Because honestly, this, let me see. I think Rebecca said up here somewhere. Sorry, I don't see it now. But it's making it hard for me to like the characters still.
Yeah, well, as I said in our description of this episode, I already put it in. This show is not canon. This is not a canonized event with Sex and the City. This is a whole different world. We just don't put that together.
I thought LTW could have used more to work with this episode.
Actually, she's doing a documentary about unsung Black women, but we've reduced her into just sneaking around with Charlotte at a baseball game.
Here's what I don't get too is why do we need to have that college admission storyline like dragged over multiple episodes, and yet you resolve Seema's like thing in one episode? Like, what's going on here?
But but I think they're trying to flesh out Seema more, which I'm fine with. So, we probably missed a couple things in there. Carrie had a lot of storyline this episode, and she was extra insufferable. But we're getting some storylines off the grid. Lily was smooching with that guy. I guess he's at least a little bit straight. That's great. But
there's a lot going on here.
I wanted more of it. That episode will drop on Tuesday, but you'll get early ad-free access to that on Mondays if you join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Hot in the City, and you can also join us here. The same content here on YouTube, but don't join both unless you want to. And make sure that you subscribe and like and share. My God, what are you guys doing out there? Share this shit.
Please do. You guys, I know it's embarrassing to admit that you like or that you watch it Just Like That at all. I know it's embarrassing,
right?
But think about you at least probably have one friend that you could admit to them that you watch Just Like That. You take this video or our last week's recap, and what you do is you take it, you share it, you text that to your friend.
Text it to yourself.
And say, oh my gosh, this is my guilty pleasure.
Set a reminder for the lives, Jody says, Mom.
Thanks, Jody. Please set a reminder, meaning put that little like bell thing on. Yeah. And that's it. We love you guys.
Bye. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.